all your time back.
I've got all my time. I'm in.
You guys are in. You guys are going to the big convention, the huge convention.
Are you going?
Aunt Tammy and Aunt Jackie are going to the huge
New
convention.
Jersey guy gonna be there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And first, whoever is first on
Yeah.
the podcast,
Yeah.
he's gotta be there.
That's a big deal, being the first person to watch, isn't it?
Clearly. And sometimes it's on the podcast. As soon as we do the podcast, buddy.
He's the first comment. It's a big deal.
I'll first him.
I can't out-first him. I
will out-first him.
I need 5 minutes notice because that motherfucker sits and waits for that fucking podcast.
I've never rated anybody here.
Right?
He is like sitting there fucking stalking DJ.
So, yeah, what up? This is Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio, and we are here with Jersey from WCR Nation. What up, though?
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
Nada, man, nada. I feel like, every time I watch the show, like, my lighting is too good. Should I turn lights off? And
No, man. I mean, oh, wow. You're gonna salt our podcast game, dude?
Come on, man.
not you guys, just everybody you have on the show and somebody calls in. Yeah.
It's always dark and gloomy.
Yeah. It's
We're
usually
all
Darnell.
depressed. We're all
Yeah.
depressed.
I got kicked out. I'm getting kicked out of here. I actually have to move the garage when it gets warmer. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be outdoors, and we won't be able to say, Tim's smoking in the office, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's allowed to fire it up in the garage.
Right.
So, how's it going down there where it's super warm? You know what I mean?
It's 70s here, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you
I'm
what,
talking to you
we've
in
got
Jersey.
Beautiful,
you two spoiled
beautiful
Southerners.
Well, I was sitting on the front porch today with the wife, and I'm like, this is the weather I wish it was year-round, because it's just gorgeous. What a breeze. We had a beautiful weekend, but the heat's going to be
A
coming.
beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
I'll take the heat right now, man.
Yeah, I'll
This
take
40s and 50s. Sucks.
Yeah, man. You know what? That's the thing.
Sucks.
What I don't like is I get up in the morning here, and I've got to have a hoodie on, and by, like, noon, I have to, like, be wearing shorts. I don't
You have to wear
understand.
shorts.
I don't
So you have to
understand
wear
what's
shorts
happening.
in the morning. And
Shorts
freeze
and a
also.
hoodie.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's
Listen,
the Ohio dress code is shorts and a hoodie. That is our...
We're shorts. We're shorts until November now.
Ricky Martin, oh my God.
I don't want to bring it up, but for Mark and I mean, there's such a thing as too much sun, I mean,
Yeah.
tan lines are just, it's a beast. It's,
Sucks, right? It totally sucks that you got tan lines all year round. Man, you and Mark are just living the... Jennifer, my wife, said that you look like Ricky Martin, so... that's a good thing. I think I think he's handsome. You might be in the running for sexiest man in window cleaning. You and Seth Byers might have to mud wrestle or baby oil wrestle or something.
Well, wait a minute.
Clarify, is it the old Ricky Martin or is it like what he looks like now? Like,
Is it the coming out Ricky Martin?
Before, like,
No, I'm going with living La Vida Loca Ricky Martin, that young Ricky Martin. That's what I'm going with, because I'm not mean. I'm a nice guy.
This is actually Florida. I just got back from Florida doing the Universal thing last week. So this is Florida sun.
Did you go to Harry Potter World?
Oh my God, 3 days in a row.
Tell me that ain't badass, man.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, it's a lot of fun.
I'm to the age now where I'll like stare at like the building and I'll be like, man, there's like every rivet somebody put on there. That's not like a real thing, Like the kids are just looking at everything else. Look inside this window, and I'm like, no, but look at the window. Like they made it look old. How do they do that?
Yeah.
They made it look old.
That's the old guy in you. That's
My
your daddy
problem is-
coming
yeah,
out
my
while you're
problem
lying
is-
with the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter where we go, like even when we went to the bowling alley for Elena's birthday, the front doors, I was just like, geez, dude, I mean, come on, man. Like try. You can't even keep your doors clean. It's just, most bowling alleys do not have windows, and just a door, or maybe 2 doors, but usually they have no windows.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is maintain a door or 2, and you can't even do that.
I think the best is where you see where like the cleaning company or like the maid got to, where there's like swipe marks, but only like so far up. That's my favorite. Like, come on.
There's a restaurant that I do near the amusement park here that when I go in, like I will go in and clean the windows. I'll do the inside, and when I go outside, maybe 5 minutes into doing the outside, someone comes out with car wash squeegee, you know what I mean? Yeah. And a bottle of, and they just said, and I walk into the manager, I'm like, yo, I just cleaned the windows. What are you guys doing? Yep. And she's like, oh, I just told her to go because she doesn't have nothing to do. I'm like, well, there's plenty of there's like cars wrapped around the building waiting for a cheeseburger. How about make cheeseburgers? You know what I mean? Yeah. Why am I cleaning the windows and then you're saying, and this is a high traffic restaurant to begin with, so it's funky. You know what I mean? The entrance areas are beat. You know what I mean? Kids are slapping whole hamburgers on the glass. It's rough. And then at night, it's full of all the employees from the amusement park, so it's even double jacked up. And that during that whole time, there's a little girl running around halfway up the windows with floor wax and a squeegee. You know, it's like, come on,
the same
man.
rag that she just wiped the countertops with. She's putting on.
I said something to the district. I said something to the district manager, and she, put the kibosh to like, listen, during the season, don't clean the windows. We're paying someone to do that. You know what I mean? Because you're wasting your money.
Well, the worst thing is, I have a burger restaurant that I do every Wednesday, and I had that same exact issue. Girl comes up behind me with a greasy rag. She's wiping the windows on the other side of the restaurant. She saw what I was doing, and I went to the manager. I'm like, look, tell her Wednesday morning she doesn't have to do this. He goes, well, it's so routine. That's what she does. And I go, I don't want to leave here. And then you guys go, man, this place looks like crap. Oh, the window cleaner was here. He did that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It's like the dog nose prints on the glass when they call you back. You forgot this one. No, you have a dog, and that's your screen door. Like, that's what happened. Yeah.
And they like to lick the glass. What is it about dog snot and slobber that is like you gotta have Mark Tanner's polishing kit to get it off the glass?
Oh my God! If they ever made glue like that, the cannons wouldn't fall off the constructor brush with dog snot.
Louis Coatney, what's up, my man? I ain't seen you in a while. He got his Squeegee Live shirts and probably hated them. He's like, fuck these things and fuck that podcast. So, Jersey, I want to know a little bit about Jersey behind the jersey. I want to know, you used to or still do, I don't know. We don't know. Do you clean windows or own a window cleaning company or tell people what to do or anything like that? Where did you get your start in window cleaning?
Yeah, so I started a company like 13, 14 years ago, something like that. And I still legally own it, but it's been in buyout. So I talked to the guy just today, but I'm doing at this point, it's been we're in our 4th year. So he knows what's going on. Like, it's a different company now than it was when I left. So I really am pretty darn hands off. When I came to North Carolina about 3 years ago, I started another one here, but then I also was a sales rep for WCR, and it was just too many hats, especially when he still needed a lot of work. So I sold my equipment here, which was awful because it was like exactly what I got to build everything, tailor it right to my liking, and then sold it. But so that's what I do. Basically this, I'm hands off. I haven't cleaned a window that wasn't my own in years, 3 years.
Mr. Fancy Pants over here doesn't clean windows anymore. He's Mr.
He's getting
Sales
one of them
rep at
WCR
windowcleaner.com. What's that? What's that, Tim?
Yeah, you know what? You got Jersey. We're all sitting here trying to figure out how to get into the window cleaning equipment sales as well.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't seem to be working out because I'm kind of looking to put the bucket down as well.
There you go.
How'd you get yours before mine? Hey, Alex, I want my squeegee, bro.
Dude, this thing is, like I said, why are they sending me another one of these when I seen it come out? And then it comes in and it's like, what? This is badass.
Yeah.
Like, it's snug right in there.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 of them too. So there's the Mormon, the Unger, and the Ettore. So I didn't know because I use wood cones like forever. So I never realized that people really wanted those. So we got out on that trad pole and everybody's freaking out that they couldn't lock their tools. So came out with some new attachments.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to work out real well. Real well. Constant spin for sure.
You know what's interesting? TJ and I asked for a trad pole over a year ago. Now, Sean Gavin's got one coming out. Philip Alexander's got one coming out. You guys were the first, and I gotta say, it's freaking next level. You set the bar, okay? And I don't, and I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 other hacks that are gonna come out with something, probably, probably. I don't know. Well, anyway.
I don't know who you're.
No, he's dead set. He's dead set on the Connect becoming a trad pole. He's
nothing like 17 clamps. Yeah. Nothing like 17 clamps on a 4-foot pole trying to get.
Man,
that works out pretty good.
I remember back in the day, if you wanted to carry an 11-foot Unger pole, you had that long ass 2-section pole is what you'd always have.
Yeah.
And you'd always come back, hit something. This carbon fiber with the able to go up like that, whole different game changer.
Whose phone's ringing?
Sorry, mine. Yeah,
Don't you ever do that again, dude.
I'm sorry. The funny, I'm trying to be Mark Tanner there, yeah.
Right.
No, the funny thing about the trad pole was like when we brought it in, started, it's actually just a piece of the micro itself, just the front 3 sections that is now labeled exactly on the trad pole. And we brought it in. We're like, oh, this is kind of funny. Like, we have a carbon fiber trad pole. Nobody wants this. It's 200, and we sold out like this. Right. We're like, oh, so now that we've tested the waters, now everybody else wants to get it, which is cool. That's really what the market is. Somebody does something and everybody goes, oh man, that's what I do. Innovation.
But, I mean, you guys kind of set the bar now. That's the thing, though.
Well, everyone knows that the reason why there's a carbon fiber trad pole is because me and Mark. It's us that made that happen.
We asked for that over a year ago, and everybody said it's too expensive.
Chris called us up. He's like, listen, I'm going to send you guys some checks. Keep talking about it. And we did it, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, so I have a question, though, Jersey. If that's the top section of the micro pole, how many more sections go on that? Let's say, and I hate to say this because I said I want a 4.8 or a 4.12. Can we purchase only a couple lower sections to make it go to 24 feet, let's say?
Yeah. So
for trad work.
Literally, this is just sits behind me, and my office is on the other side of this. But this is your micro pole, and then each section, this tip came out of the end. You can buy each section by itself. So, I mean, you could go all the way up to a 30-foot pole, but if you only wanted a 15-footer or the next increments, you can buy one section. It comes with a clamp, slide it right on the back. The only thing that happens is that this logo is then buried under black carbon fiber, which some people care, but I don't.
Wow, that's all good. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 3 more sections, get a second one, and then 3 lower sections, because then you have one for wetting and one for squeegeeing. And like I said, originally everybody said 4.8.
All I got to say is window cleaners unite. Keep going. Window cleaners unite.
Yes.
What were you saying about the bottom sections? Well, I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. I've been doing a lot of trad work with longer carbon fiber poles. Not to talk about somebody else's pole right now, but I've been using 5 sections of Phillips pole for trad work. I did yesterday, and the day before that, I did power wash, some soft washing and shit. And I was like, wow, she's like, will you do the windows too? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't feel like going up the ladder. So I had the Flickinator, and I went and did it all flicky style. I'm getting better with that thing. That thing's hard. But I'll tell you what, a high modulus carbon fiber pole is what you want, man. You want a high mod pole. That's what you want, man. You don't want if you're gonna be doing a lot of work with a pole, that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
And that trad pole, that shit's gangster, man. All that
I'm
cool.
still too old school. I want two of them. One with a washer on it, one with a squeegee on it. That Flickinator thing is really never doesn't hold enough water.
Are you a backflip guy? Ed-Array backflip? Where
I've used that. Like I have a job we have to use a scissor lift and pull out of a scissor lift, so I'll use a backflip for that. And that's like 2 or 3 times a year, and that's because again going up and down in a scissor lift and leaning one pole while you use the other. I prefer the backflip, but once I started using Sorbo tools, I really don't want anything else.
Yeah.
And Sorbo, I don't think they have a backflip deal.
No,
and again, the flipper thing just doesn't hold. It's good on low glass on something that's 25 foot up. I want to be able to scrub them.
The flick pad.
Yeah, it's just on
Accelerator.
Man, you ain't even know what you're talking about, bro.
I've seen you playing around with that giant Kotex flipping around.
That giant Kotex, he says.
Listen, I like it. Hey, man, I'm about to prove you wrong, dude. But anyways, my next video, I'm about to prove you wrong, Mark Tanner.
All right.
You better turn your
There's a
lights
fun
on.
hack for the Ed-Array backflip that you can actually add in a little bit longer bolts and then run a wide body channel in there, so you can put a Sorbo channel in the Ed-Array backflip if you ever want.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Very cool.
Dude, listen.
That's part of the coolness with all this is that I get like some crazy pictures of guys that mod stuff and they like make their own, and that's cool. I imagine every industry has it, but with ours, I mean, like Craig is one of those guys who he would rather mod something and make it his own than buy one if they came out with the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Mark mods all of his Sorbo channels, like.
Yeah, and my strip washers, stuff like that. My strip washers.
Can you tell me how to do that?
Throwing rocks as he's getting the drill bits out.
I couldn't even get it done, man. The drill bit kept slipping off the channel. I said, "Screw this, dude."
You got to put it in a drill press.
I did.
Darnell's here, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
That dude's videos are great.
That dude's videos are
Carbon
great.
freight for your drill press, then. Is it a reach it drill press?
That's ridiculous. You shouldn't say things like that. That's
actually yeah. A toy surprise in every box.
Cracker Jacks.
Yeah.
Cracker Jack. Yeah, I get you. High flyers are the best for 9 to 18 feet.
Oh, Richie, you don't know anything about window cleaning, bro.
Yeah, you don't know shit about window cleaning anyway.
Oh my!
And I was talking about getting a high flyer, and Richie's like, "Don't even do it. You're gonna disrespect it, bro." I'm like, "Whatever, dude." Richie's a scrub, man. Can we get a kickstand for the trad pole?
Yeah, listen, that's the one thing I'm disappointed in WCR. Yeah. They're not marketing enough kickstands.
Yeah, dude.
Listen, when somebody does it right, you just can't step on it like that. I mean, we've tried. We've gone through hundreds of kickstands, and none of them work right. We can't get it. We can't get the angles right.
I've been in the background speaking with the owners of Window Magic Supply. They're getting ready to put kickstands on everything they sell.
There you
everything.
go.
Even the box, when the box comes in the mail, it will be kickstanded up on your front porch. You know what I mean? So it's ready for action.
It's a race to the top right now. Everybody's doing it. They're all trying to
presentation, baby. Shit.
Yeah.
See, everyone likes the high flyer on the poles, man. I want a tripod crane that lets me Peter Pan even on low stuff keep me level.
Yeah, I could see Mark Darnell doing that.
Yeah, I could totally see that too, man.
Just pushing around like a cherry picker, just dangling off of it, you know?
So what is a day with Jersey? What does Jersey do all day?
Oh, day drink. It's really the best way to.
I put in for that job.
Did you really? It didn't work. Did you get? Did your application get denied, Tim?
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back.
So no, I do. My day starts at 10 a.m. Actually, I do like the gym and grocery store stuff, just because once I'm on, then it like phones and everything else. So I work now more than I did when I owned a business, which is not what I was kind of intending. But when you're in sales, you're kind of on all the time, when people need you. So I work 13-hour days, so 10 in the morning till 11 at night.
Now, do you have a physical office that you go to every day, or is it in your house, or how does that work? On the road?
We got one of those weird cookie cutter houses with like I'm what I'm in now is like the nursery in our bedroom. So technically our bedroom is connected, but I'm going to wall it off eventually and whatever. Nobody's home during the day anyway with kids in school, so it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You got a mess of babies too, don't you? You got 2
No,
or 3?
well, I got two
okay.
kids.
I thought you had 3.
I don't know that they're both mine because the tests are expensive, but I'm pretty sure.
Right. I'm with you on that. You know, everyone keeps saying my kids look like me, but you know, we don't want to hurt their feelings or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Better they find that out when that 23andMe comes in the mail, you know?
Right.
So wait.
So do you have any questions for Jersey, Mark or Tim? I mean, I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, well, I have a question. So transitioning from physically washing windows, did you have a nice crew, or were you a one-man show? And then transitioning, putting your bucket up and doing sales. Do you miss going out and haggling with people? And no.
No. Listen, there are some people who love cleaning windows. I love running a business. And there's 2 kinds. There's 2 types of people. There's a guy who wants to be out there cleaning windows. They just can't let that go. And then there's other guys who want to create a business. It just happens to be window cleaning. And that's kind of where I fall into. I'm so involved in it that I love everything about it now, but I don't want to go clean a window. Like, I'm okay with my fingertips not hurting from getting storms in and out, and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of aspects to it. But the funny thing is when I started my business, it was started as kind of a side hustle, basically. And I had a buddy of mine who was not working at the time, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to start cleaning. I got this job. Do you want to clean? I did 1 job by myself, and then after that I had employees. So
how's that?
Charger from Mark to the Charger.
The Charger.
It's a Charger.
So
I had crews. Yeah, I had guys out there that did it, and I did the whole. If you remember Kevin Dabrowski from years ago, he always said that your job, if you ever get out of the field, is to get work for the people who are in the field, and that was my kind of premise. So I was out in the field. I mean, you never get away from it, even if you think you're in the office. There's a day that more people call out than you'd like, so you're out in the field, or you got a new guy who they don't have the time to train because it's middle of spring, so you're out there training with them. But I mean, I was probably in the office pretty steady after like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So your role now is to consult and speak with people as to the best equipment that they need, and you make sales calls, obviously, to your larger customers. Hey, what do you need? Make sure everything is lined up.
Yeah, we do like a spring and fall because that's when everybody else is busy. So we send out messages, leave a message like, hey, if there's anything we can do for you, let me know. I really try not to be salesy, as dumb as that sounds. So I don't want to call people out of the blue. Yeah. But, we can see, I'm on live chat all night too. So, and I have a lot of people who are super, call them cool kids, but they're super loyal. So they'll be like, hey, everything's in my cart, man, put the order in. And then that's how I make my credit on it. So, I talk to people all day long, but it's usually them contacting me. So
yeah.
There's nothing worse than a pushy salesman, that like garbage, like sales. No one wants to go look at cars on a day that they're open because they know there's going to be like people popping up from the middle of cars like, hello,
right.
My name's Dad, can I help you?
The last day of the month when they want to get those last couple cars sold.
When you're sitting in your car.
Has a question for you guys. Have any of you guys had issues converting over to water-fed pole? I'm building the filter system now.
I don't.
No. Tim does not, because he does not water-fed pole. I water-fed pole, and I would say if you're a proficient enough window cleaner that you've been cleaning with a squeegee for a while and you're fairly proficient at that, you should be fairly proficient at using a water-fed pole. As long as you have a good TDS, a good scrub, and a good rinse, you should be good.
Yeah.
I heard rumor that you can scrub a window by just going up and down once.
No.
I think there was a
no, you can. You can on a dry erase board or in a factory, but in real world window cleaning, all you're doing is that's just called dirt relocation. You move it around.
You can use colored water on clean glass and go up and down once, and it will clean.
It's the TDS level of milk is its pH is different.
It's perfect.
Well, I'll tell you what. I when I had my second son, we decided to hook the breast pump up to the water-fed pole. You wouldn't believe what that does.
Right.
And then you go back next week. Yep, next week you go back and get cheese off the sills. You gotta love it.
Cheese. Well, when we were in Kansas City, we saw firsthand that doesn't work.
Well, man, it's just
3-story windows. It was really bad, dude. It was really bad. Like
here's the thing with the window with pure water that a lot of guys tend to have the problems with. And listen, from me, I've been in pure water almost from the beginning. It's been probably 10 years from like way back, fiberglass floppy poles in a DI tank. You know, like I've been in it quite a while, and things have changed and it's gotten awesome. But if you're using a brush that doesn't scrub good, you can't go even a great brush. If you're going to use it like a magic wand and just think that somehow magically it does it, it's gonna suck. You're gonna have a bad time.
Acme Window Cleaning says Tim is a professional. That's why he doesn't use water-fed pole.
Wow. Tim just doesn't want to change his routines.
So apparently everyone sucks. Everyone sucks except for Tim.
Don't put that shit on me. I just don't.
What's up, Chris? Chris Lamborghinis is watching.
For me, I've been doing the same thing for so long, man. Then you throw in all these different moving parts that can go wrong that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I was hoping he would learn before the Kansas City thing, but he didn't. He just refused to. He's like, "Listen, I'm not water-fed pulling shit." Literally said, "I'm not water-fed pulling that shit." Go ahead. What's that, Josh?
I was just gonna say, there's a lot of people out there that just don't want the new stuff. They've done it for so long, and they don't want to go the new way. And here's the truth of the matter: is if you're great at basketball, that doesn't mean you're great at football. So a lot of guys like Tim's amazing, probably at a nose to glass squeegee scrubber kind of. If he goes to water fed,
rookie.
He's not going to be. It's a different thing. You're still cleaning a window, but it is completely different. It's easy to master, but you have to master it. It's like getting into the accelerator.
I don't know if it's hard to master. It's more.
It's a whole new concept, though. You know,
it's not even that. It's believing in the concept. If you clean window, if you use water fed pole, and the whole time you're second guessing it because you're like, oh shit, you probably, you know what I mean. I think most of the issue is people either are inexperienced with the water fed pole and don't know how easy the process is, or B, just don't have the right equipment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they might,
or C, I think the education in water-fed pole is not so much how to use it. That's part of it. Let's say that's 50%. The other 50% is when to use it. Right. Is when to use it. First of all, there are guys that still tell me that they can remove silicone and stickers and do construction cleanings with water-fed poles. And if you think you're going to take that and become a mid-rise window cleaner, you're not. You're not. It's not going to happen. I'm going to take your lunch and show up with a rope, and you're done.
Well, I was going to say that part of that, the reason is that guys will say, every time I get to a job, they go, oh, you're not going to use that water pole thing, right? It's because of guys like that who went there first and did crappy work, and then they're like, that doesn't work.
Yeah. Steve-O says, Tim, you would love water-fed pole. You just need your cherry popped.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I'm a routine guy. That's the only reason.
One of these days, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna water fed pole something for Tim, and he's gonna get paid for it, and he's gonna.
You're
be like, all right. What's that, buddy?
I was gonna say you're route only.
Tim's
I'm residential only.
Oh, residential?
Yeah, he's got a residential route. He does. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mess around because still around here they're not educated. The customer's not educated. So the biggest question we have when they call the office is, you're not going to power wash our windows like the last guy. So even the guys that are doing it, that are going out and doing it, aren't explaining it to the customer, so they're not teaching them. So if you're not teaching the consumer, they're never going to get used to it.
Right. Yeah. And you're going to be at the huge convention. It's signed in stone. It's a done deal, right?
Is that a thing?
When you're there, we're going to get you on a pole. We'll have some holy water there just in case your hands start burning or something when you're using it. But we'll get you using one just to kind of play around in it. It's cool when you get your hands on it.
It's super hard to break routine. I can tell you this: when I started out using water fed pole, we had the worst pole, the worst brush, and I was like, this shit sucks. And the dude I was working with would always, that was his go-to, was the pole. I would just use the water-fed pole on it. And I was always like, I'm just going to get the ladder out. I'll do my 8 hours on the ladder. You could do your 8 hours on the water-fed pole. And if it's got to be done again, you got to redo it. That's the way we operated. You know what I mean? So half the building would look good and half of it would suck. And we'd have to, of course, I would have to help.
Bro, I got that one pole given to me.
Yeah.
I sent it down to Ron. Ron went out and bought a whole, DI tank. He spent a couple, $2,000-$3,000. Put everything together. Starts trying to figure things out. He can't do it. He can't. Nothing with the brush he was using would do anything. He was leaving spots. He couldn't figure it out. He's watching every video. He's got one of them old style. I don't know if it's Etere or Unger, the ones where you have to screw them in. They're about this friggin' wide.
Oh, yeah, those are Unger. Yeah, those things are
He went back to that. Think about that.
Yeah.
He's got this nice carbon fiber pole, and he went to that. That is a carbon fiber. It's just a really...
Dude, that thing, when it came out, was like $6,000 for a set of those, man.
I'll tell you what. I'll come down there with my gear and show you guys what's what.
Can't figure it out, man. You get used to your routines. You're used to a squeegee. You're just,
in it.
Well, look. I had when I started with my old man, we had a Tucker, the original aluminum Tucker pole. Thing weighed like 88 pounds.
That was like cleaning a window with a ladder. Like
your shoulders were like burning. But it has. I do a Ruth Chris Steakhouse once a month with 30-foot high glass, and one of my employees was doing it with soap and water and a pole, and he never reached the bottom, and he'd always leave drips. And I'm like, it's the kind of job that when you go inside and you go upstairs, you can see the high glass to see how it came out. It's 95%. I mean, I'm not going to say it's 100% perfect, but I'm also a window cleaner looking at critiquing my work.
Right.
And once you get it down, it's 95%. I mean, and it shaved a lot of time off that job. So what would you rather have? A couple water spots here and there, or the bottom half inch of the window, he can't reach it, because of the angle.
Well, if you're still leaving water spots, you still have you can tailor that in, washing your frames a little bit better, rinsing your frames, and you can get rid of that. But the thing is with water fed is it's just like when you do high rise for the first time and they hand you that little rope, they're like, oh, you're going to hang from this. And I'm a full-figured male. Like, I'm not hanging. It takes time to understand and trust the equipment. That's what water fed really is.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yep, that's true. You just gotta embrace the process. You know what I mean? I think Tim, he just needs someone. It's hard. Like if I, when I seen that hydro cart in the garage at the shop, when I started window cleaning, I had no idea what it was. I didn't know what it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We plugged it in. I still had no idea. What are we doing? You know what I mean? I was like, there's no way this works. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it didn't. You know what I mean? But once I got me personally, I got a better pole, a better brush. Things started to change, you know what I mean? And I got better at window cleaning too, and I knew what it took. And I knew, well, I'm not going to be able to use this here. I'm going to have to get up on these and scrape these. I am not going to be able to do this construction clean and get that silicone. And no matter how many different abrasive maxi pads I put on it, I'm going to have to scrape this, you know what I mean? The stuff off there. Just no getting around that.
I'll tell you a funny story. I have a building that's 3 stories. And they took aluminum, we call them mole bars, and glued them on the glass to make it look like French windows, right? Mm-hmm. So they just put silicone behind them. And another company was climbing up with a ladder, walking on a ledge, and soap and squeegee. And the water run behind the aluminum trim and drip for hours. I mean, no one could do that. And they called me up, and I said, well, I just got this system. I had a DI tank, and I had whatever kind of pole it was at the time. And I'm like, I think it's probably the best. We'll scrub that up and try to flush out what's between the glass and the aluminum, the mole bars. And the management was kind of skeptical about it, and I was too, to be honest with you. So I said, let's pick one window, give me a really dirty one, and we'll see how it dries and everything. And I scrubbed the crap out of that window. At the same time, one of my competitors pulls up, and I got these 2 4-foot tall DI tanks strapped to a hand truck, garden hoses hooked up everywhere. And he goes, he kind of looks at me, reads my shirt, and he's like, "What are you guys welding?" And I'm like, "Welding?" He thought they were welding tanks. I'm like, "You need to educate yourself on your industry." And he climbs up on a ladder, and he's soap and squeegeeing, and I'm scrubbing and rinsing. And the guy, Ray, that I ended up working for, I said, "Listen, do me a favor. In 2 hours, come back and look at that window and let me know how. I'm not going to hang out. Let me know how it dried in. And if that worked for you, I'll give you a price." He called me from the airport because he was flying out on business. He goes, "Mark, I went and looked at the window. There was a couple water droplets, maybe 1 or 2 spots." He goes, "But you send over the price I'm putting the contract on." And it was strictly because of WaterFed Pole that I got that account. I've had it for about 4 years now, so it does work. I mean, no one is soaping and squeegeeing those kind of windows.
What's weird about that, of all other things too in our industry, is like, it's amazing how heated, like, it's a tool. Like, if you don't ever want to touch an Unger product, nobody would ever be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
How dare you?
Yeah, but you would say, Eddie says either one way to WaterFed or the other. They like, people just get so angry, and it's like a tool. You don't. If Tim never uses WaterFed, that's cool. Like, try it. If you don't like it, it's not for you. Don't use it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way to look at it.
Dream Chasing says the only negative thing about WaterFed Pole is the cost of equipment and the cramped neck. Everything else is cake. Well, I'll tell you this. You can get into window cleaning with a bucket full of tools for less than $100. Yeah. Okay. And guess what? You want to go work at a car dealership and got to show up with $12,000 worth of tools? Buying a $1,000 pole isn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not. I mean, yeah, there's more equipment. It's more to monitor. It's a
building process. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, you should start out cleaning windows with $100 worth of in a bucket worth of tools. That's all you should have.
I think everybody should.
Starting out.
Like, that should be like, you should go through that, like, trial by fire.
Yeah, and if you you grow into things like that, you know what I'm saying, to make the process faster. But you still want to, like Mark said, you're still going to deliver a product that's about 95% what you could have done from a ladder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe selling someone like $3,000 worth of window cleaning equipment. I'm just getting started out. What do I need? You need the magic wand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's just that. Man, that's not the way.
That I have a huge issue with, and that
yes, I do too.
That's the stuff you'll see on Facebook or on Craigslist for sale because someone nutted up 5 G's and can't figure out how to make a living with this stuff.
Right.
That's just wrong.
Yeah.
You have to be to the right spot in your business too, and it's not. It's like, hey, I got $100 and I want to race in NASCAR. What's my options? Well, you don't have an option. Then NASCAR costs a lot more than that. Okay, but I only have $100. What do I do? You don't race NASCAR. Like, everybody's in different spots in their business. So if you're not to the point of investing that much money, don't buy the lower end stuff is not going to work just to buy something. I'd rather see somebody save that money, and when they get to that point, it's like, don't own 3 trucks if you got 1 crew. Same concept. Don't overinvest.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my competitors, you said that. One of my competitors has 3 Chevy vans, and they have an office on a main road where I drive by all the time. 90% of the time, 2 of the vans are parked all day long because I can drive by them 6 hours later. They haven't moved, and they have a a magnet on the back window that says "Now hiring." I'm like, wait a minute.
Hey, Mark
hiring,
Tanner.
Hey,
Mark Tanner. Casper Shoring said, "Just use some." What's up, Casper?
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, he could. All you got to do is get rid of 2 trucks, and then you label your trucks starting with 1. So like 1-1, 1-2, and then you look like you got more trucks in there.
We had a guy here that wrapped he had those little transit type things, and he put a wrap on them. One side was red and one side was black. So it was coming up one side of the road. It looked like he had more vans than he actually did because they're, from one side you can't see the other side's different.
Mike the Glass Guy says, every tool has its job. I like having the right tool for the job and save headache. If you think you can use one tool that does it all, and I don't think you're doing it right. I think that's, for sure.
Yeah.
If you think that one tool is going to do everything you need it to do, then Snap-on would be out of business. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so would everyone else.
Someone's living room and see what happens.
Right.
No, it's amazing. It's shocking still that people get so heated on it. It's comical if I didn't have to be in there all the time on it, but
Yeah. I mean, you deal, that's all day long window cleaning. What do you do that ain't window cleaning? What are some hobbies of Jersey besides fist pumping?
Other than fist pumping, I I go to the gym every day and I ride my bike as much as possible, mountain bike, so like I do that. I escape. My time is like from like 1:30 in the afternoon until my kids get off the bus. I go to a park, mountain bike park, and do that for a bit and come back, and I sit outside from like 4:30 until 5, and then I start my live chat.
So do you I
do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a snorkel on your bike? Because Mark has a snorkel on his bike. No? Okay. Does your bike have 2 or 4 wheels?
It's only 2 right now, but I'm hoping to upgrade.
Mark's bike has 4 wheels. So
yeah, training wheels.
Yes.
Tim lost his internet. No, Tim, you bastard, you. Hurry up, Tim.
He's working on it.
He's gonna come back and he's gonna be in Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Philip Alexander, he's back. Oh no, it's Philip.
Phil. Now Phil is the guy from Simple.
Is that the name of it? I wouldn't know. It's not like he's on the internet at all.
I've never heard of him. I'm kidding. I love Monkey Phil.
I've never. Who is Philip Alexander? What is a Simple? I've never heard of these things.
Never.
Philip Alexander is doing $100 an hour at 66 years old with water-fed pole, and you can do that too if you buy a football brush and a Simpo. If it was not for football ball, I would not be playing football ball today.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, Phil, that last video you did, I think it was at a Golden Corral. At $100 an hour, you must have been there all month. Oh, my God. Dude, I was wondering, does he put the camera on a tripod or is it on the front of his walker? Because holy shit, put some tennis balls on the back of that walker, dude. You're dragging that thing across the floor. Like,
listen, not everybody is in the technological age of,
Hey, Henry's window cleaning's here too. What up, Henry? Go ahead. I'm sorry, dude.
I wanna buy one of those chest gimbals, or like one of the ones so every time you see him, he's walking around just fluid, cameras all over. Yeah.
We got Tim Huber back with us. Tim Huber's here.
Don't mind me. I got that Mark Tanner internet.
Yeah. The squirrel just died in the meth shack.
Yeah. Just like, boy, like everybody's freaking out too because everybody's like Xbox and Netflix.
Right, yeah.
So it's like
what just happened?
Fast. Right. It was like everybody converged. Yeah. So.
Everybody's super helpful trying to get it back on. Is there something I can do?
If everyone wants to know, I'll tell you this right now. The reason why Mark Tanner was having internet trouble is because they didn't turn the router on.
Yeah. That was $700 later.
Yeah, $700 later, they didn't.
The router went bad.
Mrs. Tanner's not so smart after all.
Yeah,
Mrs. Tanner.
I consider her smart compared to me.
Yeah.
All I know is I had to call someone out, and the guy comes out the second time, and he goes, "Oh," and he flicks the switch. Cost me $90. He goes, "Your Wi-Fi is off," and I'm like,
"Your Wi-Fi is off.
Get out of my house."
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I've never claimed, like I made some of those barbecue videos for you this weekend, T, and I'm like, man, this is harder than I thought it was, trying to find the right angle and everything. There's more to it. And speaking of that, hey, dude, listen, we're doing 2 competitions this year, okay? So if anyone's in Florida wants to come help out and be on the Hoggy Style Barbecue team, come on down because we're gonna go.
Give us the dates. I'll get TJ on a plane.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, man, but we're gonna do some competitions. I miss that.
Why don't you just come to Ohio and do one?
Dude, they're all over Ohio because I had to join the KCBS again, and I was scanning through it. And I'm like, man, they got a barbecue event in Ohio like every other weekend, a sanctioned one.
I can get
all you people keep moving in from up down that south area and cooking up here, man.
I can get a toe behind smoker with 2 giant coal trays and a big smoke box on it. Just hook it up to a pick 'em up truck and go. Whatever, man. You're scared.
Scared? I ain't scared of nothing.
Mark Tanner's scared.
Come up there and kick some Ohio ass.
Do you?
We got 6 barbecue joints in my little town here.
Yeah,
in one city.
It's really
6 of them.
It's really picking up, man.
Right.
Yeah.
They knew. Everyone found out that I was smoking the best fucking meat around, and they were like, "Oh, okay." Now
smoking that pole.
Yeah. I smoke the cylindrical meats only.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'm making trying to come up with another rub because I'm trying to get. I got to get my chicken. My chicken is just not where it needs to be. I can do the ribs, the brisket, and the pork. You know I'll do well with that. But chicken, I got to start
that's
level up.
You can ask my mom or Jennifer, anyone you'd like. My chicken is what I'm the best at.
Are you?
Yep.
I'm trying to come up with a chicken rub, but I haven't. The thing with chicken is very hard to smoke chicken, and when you turn it in, they want a crispy skin. So it's hard to.
That's easy.
To do that, man.
I'm a boss ass dude. Mark Tanner clearly has some things to learn from.
We're having a cook-off.
I do.
Want to have a cook-off? We want to see who can do a better chicken. You're just looking for reasons not to come up here and ride a roller coaster because you know that there's probably only a couple you're allowed on because you're not.
Yeah, I'm not too tall enough. Exactly. I'll wear my Gene Simmons boots. Listen, I'll ride anything. I'll tell you what. You pick out that roller coaster, and you and I are going skydiving after the roller coaster.
You see this new one that Kings Island's coming out with next year?
Say that again.
You see the new one that Kings Island's coming out with next year?
Yeah.
Dude.
What is it called?
It's going to be some Beasts Unleashed. Beast
Unleashed. It's some kind of giant steel. I have made, me and Jennifer have made verbal plans. The Cedar Pointers, we're going to go down to Kings Island. I've never ridden the Beast. I want to ride that before anything happens to it. I want to say I was able to ride that.
I don't think everything will ever happen to the Beast.
Have you ridden the Beast before?
I have ridden the Beast.
See,
hey, Josh,
one of the biggest fears of roller coasters.
Super long.
That's what got me
long,
like.
Isn't it?
It's long and it's sketchy as shit. Dude, you get banged up so bad.
Really?
When you hit that first two.
Ohio sucks.
Dude,
I got that. They shut up for me. Josh, did you ride the Hulk roller coaster ride at Universal?
I didn't. I held purses. That's what I did.
Dude, that roller coaster. I'm not saying it's anything compared to Cedar Point, but that roller coaster, you get in the car, okay, and you have no idea what's going to happen. It launches at about 65 miles an hour, and as soon as you come out of a tunnel, as soon as you see daylight, you flip upside down immediately, and then you go into a loop. It's pretty intense, man.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think any park's competing with Cedar Point as far as stupidest, sketchiest ride you've ever seen in your life.
Come to Cedar Point, and I'll show you some sketchy-ass rides.
It's stupid.
There's some sketchy-ass rides up here, dude.
I
definitely want to ride the Beast, though. Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, I get motion sick if, I'm driving and I look down. I'm, sick for an hour, so I can't do roller coasters. Really? I can't even do simulators. Listen, I did the train between the two Harry Potters and Universal. It's like a 2-minute train ride where you're going this slow because they're playing a movie. I had to look down and I'm staring at a door because I was getting motion sick on a stupid train.
Mine's the height.
You know what? That one, it didn't bother me, Josh. I know what you're saying. But if you think about what you're looking at what you think is a window, but it's a TV screen, and you're watching, dragons fly by. I mean, you really think that it's happening. It is wicked.
That 4D
it's
shit's
going
awesome.
faster than you are. So, my brain just totally melted down and was like, ah!
Yeah.
Jersey, have you ever got so fed up with a customer that you told them to kick rocks, even at the risk of being fired by Chris and not receiving those humongous windowcleaner.com checks?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Man, I've been called a lot of names. Not a lot. Usually people are pretty good, but there's times where people are just something happens, FedEx loses. We had a freight issue and people cuss me out, and I've swore back you're calling me this and this and this. I don't know that I can help you anymore, but usually I listen and that's enough. That's what people want, is just somebody to vent to
or someone to take it out on. Usually that's usually what I do. I'm just looking for someone to yell, just cuss at.
Right.
Yeah, that's that. A lot of times it is. I mean, and I work even when we're on vacation a lot of times. So I had one of those times. It was a Sunday night, and this guy is just yelling. I got my AirPods in. My family's watching TV kind of on the other side of the hotel room, and they're screaming so loud they turn the TV off so they can listen to it. And this guy's telling me how I'm a big piece of something about me sitting on the couch working at my dad's company selling equipment out of a storage shed as I like stupid stuff. And it's fun sometimes.
It's fun sometimes.
You just gotta listen.
Yeah,
you gotta
that's
listen.
great.
I beat my wife, so that's my thing. That's how I think.
Right? Yeah. I'll show you on the top of the head so nobody can see the bruises. That's where you do it.
Thanks. You just caused my wife another slap tonight.
Right.
I appreciate you.
yeah. That's it. On the bottom of the feet and on the top of the head, nobody will know.
Yep.
It's phone books. Yeah. It's the old Jersey thing. You got a phone book.
Dude, I tell you what, man, I'm starting to get swamped in the winter cleanings, man. And I'll tell you this, I don't really like talking about winter cleanings at all. I'm getting tired of talking about winter cleanings because that's all I do is winter cleanings. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do you believe in Bigfoot, Josh? I need to know.
Yeah.
I mean, you live down in the Kakalakis, so.
Yeah, so
I
believe that there is something out there. Yeah, not down by me. I don't know that it's here, but like Western, there's got to be something out there. There's got to be something out there. It's been in like folklore, and people have talked about it for so long. Something's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about UFOs? Ever seen one?
Never seen a UFO. I've not. Is another thing that I would imagine would work. I really feel like we're just a really like dumb planet in the cosmos. So like when people come, it's really just to poke fun at us, and sometimes they get caught, and sometimes they don't. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think they're like they come down, they check us out, and like we're gonna end up getting nuked. Let's get out of here, dude. Let's get out of here.
These guys are unstable.
These guys are super sketchy, man.
Well, it's like you go to the monkey pit at the zoo, and there's some monkey just getting pissed, picking up its poop, trying to throw it. Like That's what they look at us. They're like, oh, okay, let's go somewhere else, and then they fly off, and they like realize that.
Chris says that you shoot down all of his conspiracy theories. I want to know why you do that. Which conspiracy theories are they that you shoot down instantly? Where do you like, no way,
just dude? You guys scratch the surface on Chris. He is, I believe a lot of his stuff, but there's a lot of them too that he says that there could be like reptilians. I always bring that one up because like that's what, like way far out for me. And it's not that he's got like posters of reptilians in his room, but it's like he's like I could see how that is. And there's
dinosaurs or
no, man, like the lizard people, bro. Like they live under the ground and shit. They're like fucking in control of everything, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe the lizard one. I don't believe that dinosaurs are, what was the other one? The dinosaurs didn't exist and that's all a hoax. I don't believe that. And I'm not a flat earther. And that's just.
I can't get
that whole flat earth thing. Yeah.
The flat earth thing is just, it doesn't work for me.
It started as a joke.
Reptilian shapeshifters, that's for sure a thing, dude. That's a thing, dude. Have you ever seen them on the news like their tongues flick out and then sometimes their eyes are like slitted the wrong way? I'm just saying, bro.
No.
Get on YouTube and check it out, bro. It's a thing. Reptilian shapeshifters are real, bro.
See, I just haven't done my research.
Illuminati.
That's really what it is.
Hey, if the Illuminati wants to recruit me, I'm down to be recruited.
They find mastodons.
Now your internet's going to go out. You see how that works?
See?
Yes! Hey, Chris, if I get in the Illuminati, bro, I'm going to hit you up. You can join with me. We'll be joining partners. We'll pledge together. What's that?
Yeah, he's the, like motorcycle gangs, he's the guy with the vest on that says like, what is it, recruit or whatever, or
prospect.
Yeah.
We're going to prospect of the Illuminati. It's going to be dope, dude.
But let's be honest, like flat earth started as a joke, right? Like somebody said, the earth is flat. Look at this. And then somebody who was dumber than the person who made the joke went, whoa, yeah, like, why does water not fall off? Like, that's, like it happened as a joke. And then like people kind of fell onto it. And now it just like siphons the people who I think it's just trolls who think it's even funnier to be part of it. Because nobody can really believe that. I'm pretty sure of it.
Oh, you got to, dude.
Listen, there's a cruise.
It's the legalization of marijuana is what it is.
Yeah, listen.
It just gives you too much time
dude.
to think.
There's a cruise. There's a flat Earth cruise happening this year. where they're gonna go out and try to find the edge of the earth and try to like sail off of that shit. Hopefully
let's all be
they
on the
hit
same
an iceberg.
I hope they find the edge of the earth.
Yeah, I hope they hit an iceberg. Fuck that Titanic.
Yeah. Hopefully they can't stop it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like, you know, in nature, if there's like a gazelle who's just a little bit off his rocker, like he's the last one, a lion eats him, right? That's like what happens in nature. There's nothing people. There's dumb for the ones that they're still allowed to breed and make more dumb people and pass on their dumbness. Like
oxygen thieves.
What about the Masons? My grandfather was a 32nd degree Freemason for a long time, and he never sacrificed a goat. I asked him if he sacrificed a goat, if he knew what the Illuminati was, and if he worshipped the devil, and he said no to all three, and then slapped the shit out of me. I was like,
don't ever speak of it again.
You specifically asked if he sacrificed a goat. It could have been any other animal, but you said goat.
It was just goat. Yeah, and then
do they have $1.50 beer?
That is a real thing.
They do?
Actually, they were quarter beers. They were quarter beers when my grandfather was going, I think.
Then I'm joining.
So, it's cool,
You had me a quarter beer.
I would sacrifice a goat for quarter beers.
After a night of drinking quarter beers, you get hungry.
Yeah, totally.
Get Mark Tanner to smoke up a goat.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I don't think I've ever ate a goat.
Yeah, it's with the right attitude.
Yes, with the right attitude, you could always eat a goat.
I want an alpaca. I want to eat an alpaca.
They're adorable until you shave the fur off. They're not adorable anymore.
Listen, my sister would be very upset with you for guys talking about this. My sister's obsessed with those. My sister Christy, she's obsessed with those. You shouldn't you don't want to do that, dude. That's mean.
We'll talk about llamas. They're kind of close. They're just meatier.
We need to figure out a llama rub.
I'll tell you what. Casey Lee said, check out the Georgia Guidestones. I will tell you this: I have heard of the Georgia Guidestones, and that is kind of weird.
What are the Georgia Guidestones?
Man, you need to like Google and start YouTube, Mark. You definitely need to check out the Georgia Guidestones, man. It's like these rules. It's like the stone monument. Nobody knows who erected it. It's somewhere in Georgia, and Philip says goat is good. He's had it several times. So anyways, and it just kind of talks about how we need to eliminate the population down to a certain amount and all this weird shit.
I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Like they're big like tablets almost where they're just written out.
Look them up, Mark. You'll be like, what the?
Right,
it's weird as shit. Go ahead.
We can fit everybody in the world in Texas.
What's that?
In Texas.
Yeah.
We can fit everybody in the world in Texas. We haven't overpopulated yet. You know what I mean? We're
Seriously?
just not there yet.
You can fit everyone in the world in Texas?
In Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah. Everybody in the world can live in Texas.
Tim said, like a lot of times, so I believe him.
No, it's just one of the things I was.
Mark's like,
no, because I get into that. I get into that.
I look. No offense to any of y'all. I just want everybody away from me. I'm certainly not going to Texas with you.
Listen, I want everyone to stay away from me. That's what I want. I don't want to all move to Texas. I just want everyone to stay away from me. That's Mark's plan.
There's a lot of open land in between. The Midwest. The Midwest is wide open.
If you look at why shows are always on the East Coast, people always ask that about like the huge convention and stuff, and now it's in Branson. But it's if you look at a heat map of where all the companies are actually registered, like from pretty much Chicago-ish over, like there is nothing. There's so many spots that you could be in a 100-mile radius and not have one registered window cleaning company.
Right.
Wow. Chris Lambernides says the Guidestones are instructions for rebuilding society. And Chris Lambernides' zeal for conspiracy theories is filling up my heart at the same time. I just love the fact that he's into that shit. It's just the
Let's get weird, man. Let's just get weird.
Let's get weird, man.
I mean, anything's possible. Look what we're finding out. I mean, 15 years ago, we would have known nothing if it wasn't for social media. I mean,
look at the declassified.
Look at our government.
Yeah, if you really do want to be creeped out, look at the declassified stuff from some of those projects. Whereas, like, there was like hundreds of people who had to give like approvals and write this stuff up. There was some secretary somewhere like, oh yeah, of course they're gonna try brain stimuli with electrons, and they're like, oh, this is cool. This is what they're telling. I mean, that's stuff that we are now told about. So imagine the stuff we're not like.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're saying that I've read a couple of things where they're going to start gene doping and stuff like that, where they're going to start, like where they're trying to work on like modifying someone's genes. So like you don't want to be this or that, or like, you know, take the best of this and the best of that. You know what I mean? That's super sketchy. That's a thing that they're actually trying to do. And I believe that, for sure, there'll come a time where you'll either live forever or there will be a world where there'll be you could cure just about anything. Right?
Yeah, I'm watching Leah's 90. She's almost 96-year-old grandma. She's tired, man. At 96 years old, she's tired. She don't want to do no more. I mean, she's ready to go. You know, she don't want to do this anymore.
Dude, I have an uncle that's 106. Okay,
isn't that crazy?
And a year or two ago, he came down to me, my mom, and my uncle, and I'm like, I hadn't seen him since 20 years ago when I got married, and I'm like, this fucking guy's still around, and I'm like, I want to talk to him. No, I want to talk to him, but let me explain. You have to be very careful what you say to someone who's 106. He's buried 3 of his 4 children. Right. Everyone he knew growing up, everyone is long gone. Oh. Yeah. Okay, and you know, you could put him into some depression. Seriously, because you know, I just want to talk about what he's seen in 106 years.
Yeah. Right. I'll tell you this, man. There was no better time in my life than sitting and talking to my grandparents. My grandfather would talk about shit, and I'd just be mesmerized, man. You know what I mean? It's, just the things you got to think that when he was a boy, he never saw a car and none of that shit. You know what I mean? It was just he was running around in clothes made out of potato sacks. And
I love old people, dude.
A new pair of shoes was his brother's shoes with a hole in the bottom of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
he was doing 60-hour work weeks.
Yes, his first brand new pair of shoes was the day he enlisted in the Army. The very first thing that he did with the money they gave him is when I bought a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, man?
Yeah, now look at it. My freaking kids are walking around with $100 sneakers like it's nothing.
Crazy complaining. He goes spend $70 on a pair of shoes for Luke tonight. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's going to wear shoes for a month.
Yeah.
And he's growing like a twig. Like, he's going into flip-flops. You're spending $70. Well, he didn't want Nike. You can buy Nikes for $45, but you're spending $70 on Under Armour. What are you doing? Well, he won't wear Nikes. What kid won't wear Nikes?
Right.
You know? How spoiled are you? You won't wear Nike.
Right. They got to be the right kind, dude. You got to have Nike's the LeBron Soldiers. You know, you got to have the Yeezys.
Well, he wants Puma or Adidas, and so I'm cool with that. But I mean, it's just the fact that she went out and spent. I mean, because she didn't even ask him. He goes, I don't want no damn Under Armour.
And they're gonna be like his toes are gonna be rolling over the edge of him in like 6 weeks.
Yeah, well,
I don't know, man.
Flip flops the day after school. He doesn't wear a pair of shoes till school starts back up.
Right.
I stick to the old. I'm just so the way I was in high school. You know, t-shirt and jeans. My kid come home.
T-shirt and shorts.
T-shirt and shorts. My wife will come home. My kid will have bright orange Nikes on with white soles, 2 different color socks, and I'm like, you look like a fucking Christmas tree, dude. What is this? Come on.
I got green Nikes on right now.
I like flashy tennis shoes.
I do the flashy tennis shoes because everything else is the same. It's always the work uniform. So it's the only thing I can express myself in. You know?
I just like seeing how the other half lives, listening to Tim talk about his kids. I'm not wearing Nikes.
All these rich folks.
Yeah. Hold on, you get 2 shoes?
Yeah.
And they're both the same kind?
Right. Tim's buying his son a pair of Gucci loafers.
I grew up really poor. I'm talking really poor. My mom was like 14 when she got pregnant for me, 15 when she had me. We did it on. You know, she just she worked made minimum wage all her life. So I never knew anything but hand-me-downs. I still to this day cannot buy a new pair of jeans. Because I don't know, they're the most uncomfortable thing. I have to buy used jeans off eBay.
You know what's kind of cool about being a poor kid? Though?
Yeah, I have to. I can't.
Excuse me, Jersey. What about the fact that someone's junk was on the inside of that?
I've worn hand-me-downs all my life. That shit don't bother me. That don't.
Hey, listen, if you need some used underwear, I'll send you some, partner. Washed or unwashed, it's up to you.
It's just when you grow up,
you charge more if they're unwashed.
That way. I mean, it's just I can buy jeans, but they take 6 months to break in. You know
I'll
what I mean?
send you some jeans with that new fart smell. You know what I
mean? All the money in the world, I wouldn't buy a new pair of jeans.
No.
To this day. Nah. I actually buy retro silver tabs because you haven't been able to buy silver tabs.
Oh yeah, you can't. No, you can't buy silver tab jeans anymore.
And I buy a lot of my jeans I buy are retro, so I'll buy old school jeans.
There's a huge market. There's a huge market for that.
Huge market
for used blue jeans. Yeah. I did not realize that, but it is actually.
I'll pay $75 for the right pair of jeans,
Woo!
But I won't buy. But I won't. They'll be used to shit. But I won't buy brand new.
Hey, $75 used jeans. Hey.
Yeah. What about mom jeans? Are those up there too? Can you buy mom jeans?
See, that's the other thing is I got this young mom, and I was born in '75. So me remembering my mom growing up, all these girls are wearing these Jordache style jeans now. And that's what my mom grew up with. So all these girls just remind me of my mom, man. It's gross.
Right.
You know?
Do you charge extra for skid marks?
My mom wears that shit, bro.
Do they charge extra for skid marks in the pants?
I think so.
No?
I get
okay.
I don't know, but I don't know about all that. I would pay. There's only one used pair of pants that I would buy. And they were the butt of many jokes in KCMO.
Yeah. I would definitely pay for Perry's pants that he wore in KCMO. That's a fun science experiment. The key to the world's destruction is on those pants.
Yeah,
right there. We could bottle that shit and make nuclear weapons that like no one has ever seen before.
So when I was at the peak of my puberty, like when I was just hitting puberty, my mom moved us in this house. We had no running water. And for like 6 months to a year, so we used an outhouse and all that.
You are a hillbilly.
No, we were.
I'll tell you what, man.
We were broke, bro.
There's a house down in West Virginia I used to stay in that they had no indoor plumbing. That was cool. You know, you filled the water up.
You're out there.
Jenko jeans, yeah. Chris Lambrinides had Jenkos. Man, you are lame as shit, Chris.
Listen, Chris had a half pipe in his basement.
Whoa!
Like I peed the half pipe in his basement.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. I'm down with that. I used to ride BMX bikes. I rode a 20-inch bike with a driver's license. I hardly ever drove my car. I was always on my 20-inch.
What's your favorite bike from back in the day? What was your
favorite bike from back in the day? My Dyno VFR was my favorite frame.
Dynos were nice. Yeah,
that was
Dyno GTs.
And the next was a Mongoose. I had a Mongoose that was my cousin's before mine. It had the hooped rear end. Instead
when
of
Walmart got involved with the Mongoose and the Diamondbacks, and they ruined it, you know?
Yeah.
They ruined those brands.
Yeah. Haro was amazing back in the day.
Yeah. I always wanted a Hutch Trickstar. I wanted one of those. I wanted one of those so bad, dude. They were super flashy.
Let's find you one.
Listen,
let's find you one. My dad deals with bikes, man. Let's find you one.
If you can find me one, let me know. But I can tell you what, right now, every one I've ever seen is like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, probably.
They're very expensive. But if you can find one that somebody's unawares, I would appreciate that because that would be dope. Because some people don't know. Some people, I hear you want this bike, $10, and it's a $1,000 bike you can't find no more. What's that?
My dad does that flea market shit. He's always hustling bikes.
See, I'm with you on that,
Always hustling bikes.
I'm with you
He's got four garages that he rents out all around Columbus that is just filled with shit.
I wouldn't mind having my 96 Dyno VFR either. The one that got stolen from me. Bastards.
Probably in one of his garages.
Yeah, it's probably...
Ever take it off any sweet jumps?
Yeah, all the time. So, Josh,
pegs, Lucky.
Did everything happen in this podcast so far you thought was going to happen? Is there? You know what? I'll tell you what, dude. Is there anything any news, anything cool coming up at windowcleaner.com?
Yeah.
Are you about to do some? Is there going to be like a super awesome spring special or anything like that?
There is a little bit, yeah. So Black Diamond is back in for sale, and we're now going to have it in-house. So we got all the sizes back and everything. So that's pretty cool. But the thing is if it's busy for you guys, we're not going to have tons of sales because a lot of times you're, a sale comes in middle of June when things slow down and you want to kind of get a little bit of traction.
Money's rolling. We don't care about sales.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You
Money's
just want to buy
like
stuff.
shit.
Yeah.
Come on. You know?
I bought a squeegee I've never even heard of from WCR. A Stacone.
I had the extra cash.
Is that what
you never heard of Stacone?
No, I've never heard of it. Never seen one before.
That's been around forever.
Yeah. I think Richie might have slicked his hair back and be like, "Yeah, I use Stacones." And I was like, "Dude, I want to get me one of those too. Maybe I'll be able to grow one of those cool Jersey Richie pompadour things." You know what I mean? And listen, Alex sends me a message. He's like, "You would order a squeegee like that, wouldn't you?" Like, yeah, dumbass.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Jersey. So, I at one point made an attempt to purchase black diamond rubbers. Okay, what is that? And
that was a shower fart, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah. So. My question is there a soft, a medium, and a hard, or is it, because I know Casper was working on different formulations. I prefer a soft rubber. I ordered, and they sent me mediums, and then I debated because they wouldn't tell me what it was, and they sent me the wrong things. And so you have all the different rubbers in stock now, the soft, medium, and the hard?
So there's no, there would be a medium and a soft.
Okay.
But if you really look at like Ettore Master, there's only one kind now. So
yeah.
You know, it just depends on what people like. There's some diehard, they love hard rubber out there. I've been in hot climates and cold climates and cleaned in both, and I still hate hard rubber personally. But some people swear by it. So you don't see as much hard. We sell probably 1 to 10 soft over hard.
Listen,
well, my thing is that...
Listen, I don't want to... Before I forget, I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny that it took like 6 months for Barry Tate to fuck that up.
I don't... So is it not...
Go ahead.
I didn't know if I was allowed to ask that question.
Keep going.
Is it not...
keep going, Mark. Keep going, Mark.
Through there.
So my thing is this. I buy rubber...
I can buy black diamond again.
I buy rubber by the gross, 3 to 4 gross a year. I want to try a dozen soft 22-inch rubbers. I'll go on your website and buy them because I know I'll get them. And then, you know, I bought grosses last year, and because I didn't get what I wanted, because I was willing to make the switch from Sorbo rubber to black diamond. So, as long as you guys got the soft ones, I would like to buy a dozen from you. I'll give them a go. I hand them out to the guys. I don't say a word, see what their response is. If they don't say nothing, we buy. If they say it's better, we buy. If it's not comparable to what we're used to, then, you know, we'll stay with the Sorbo. But I've always wanted to give it a try. Just haven't had the right opportunity because you can't get their stuff together. But sounds like you guys will have it.
Did you guys keep the huge price hike, or is it back down? Or is it?
It is back down. So,
boom.
One of those, you know, Chris isn't here. In the whole spectrum of things, we'll watch the prices. We're going to, you know, it's going to be a lot less than it was just because of the way that everything is kind of structured. And it's all come in-house now with us. And Casper is awesome. You guys met him, you know.
Yeah, I like Casper.
Casper is awesome. Yeah.
It's good people.
It's very
smart.
Cool. Yeah, it's very cool to kind of have somebody, you know, on board that knows their stuff like that. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah. Dude, I have a 30-minute rubber dissertation on YouTube that I've not released, but I've got it all edited down. Dude, the dude knows his shit, man, and he explains stuff to you and what he wants to do. The dude is passionate. I like people that are passionate about the things that they do. Some people can be a little over the top, like Philip.
I was going to say, not anybody you know, but...
Like, Philip can be over the top, but his passion... Richie, he has a passion for what he does. He just wants to make cool things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And rubber for Casper is that thing. He just wants to do something awesome. He's just fascinated with it. I just want it to be as good or better than anything else. That's what he was basically getting to. And not only that, he's funny as shit. You know, you wouldn't think so... But if you sitting and talking to the guy, like kind of privately, like off to the side, Casper's hilarious. We crack jokes most of the time, didn't we, Mark? He's a funny dude.
Yeah,
nice guy.
Yeah, Casper's good. He's good people, and I enjoy talking to someone who's so like TJ said, so educated,
long-winded like me.
Yeah, long-winded. Yeah, we had lunch together, and the whole time we were talking about raba.
But must have been this huge breeze around your table.
Yeah, Casper, if you get back to South Florida, hit me up. Let's go to lunch.
Jersey, you're from Wisconsin. You live in North Carolina. How'd you get Jersey as your name?
I know. This is like one of the weird stories, I guess. But actually, Alex gave it to me when I hung out with those guys at one of the conventions. And they were like, man, you're more... I had different hair, I guess, then. But they're like, man, you're more Jersey than I am. And then everybody started kind of calling me Jersey. And then we had the Mullen Jersey show for a little while there, and kind of stuck with that. And yeah, I also have people who call me Cheese because I'm from Wisconsin. So
Cheese.
Good to know the background story.
Yeah,
Cheese. I would much rather.
Everybody says, "What part of Jersey you're from?" I'm from Jersey. You know, the actual, as he claims, the actual Jersey Josh Thompson. He's not from Jersey either. He's just lived there for a few years. He's from like Rhode Island.
Well, that just ruins everything.
I know.
He's from Rhode Island. He said.
Stop fronting.
Like one of those soft states, you know.
You know, like the old song says, "There's no future in your fronting." You know what I'm saying?
I want to hang out with Richie. Like, I just want to walk up down dark alleys with Richie. Like, Richie's always got his hair slicked back. Like, Richie just
got a switchblade.
I feel like Richie has a knife on him at all times.
Oh yeah, all the times. He's got a switchblade and a switchblade comb. He's got both.
Right? Yeah.
He breaks out into random Grease songs. That's the problem.
He's always got an American Spirit rolled up in his sleeve up here. It's super dope, dude. It's super dope, dude. He's got
French rolled jeans. Is that your work out
Dude, that's great. So, how long? How did the podcast? How did the WCR Nation? How did that get started? How did you? Did Chris yo, we gotta do a podcast, or did you like, hey man, here's a check, or do you like something that? Do you listen to other podcasts? I'm not ours, of course, but I'm saying, how did that start?
So I do tune into yours. And actually, so when we moved down to North Carolina, a bit of information you didn't even care about, my mom moved down with us. So we live in a house, and my mom actually lives in our house with us. And every time I listen to your podcast, she goes, "You watching those guys who swear a lot?" Yeah.
those guys.
Sorry, Mom.
But, so I did Mullen Jersey for a while. And the funny thing is with John, so when I started doing sales, I was like kind of a guy. John Lee was John Lee. Like, he's John Lee. He's like Madonna, but with two names, you know? And everybody would call him, and I'm like, man, I just got to have another reason just so people can know me and so I decided to start doing a podcast, you know, and at the time doing one a week seemed like, that's easy. I could talk about window cleaning for one a week until you're in episode 97 or 98 weeks straight, and you're like,
yeah, dude.
You know,
it's tough.
It's with you guys, the nice thing you guys have going on is you're talking to each other. So you go into these with knowing nothing and not talking about, we should talk about the weather. That's all you say, and then you have 2 hours of content. With me, I'm looking into the little hole on my computer screen in my quiet office by myself, trying to be animated so that people want to listen to, it's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
Wow. So essentially what he's saying is we suck and he doesn't.
No.
Well,
he's saying
podcast. Well aware of number 2.
Well, we have already, as you guys will see later on in the 3 questions, probably tomorrow or the next day, with Jersey Josh. Listen, we were unprepared. Tim's microphone didn't work. Mark kept answering the phone, business calls. Mark had to pick up a new shipment of jorts. There was a lot of stuff going on before the podcast, guys.
Oh, we used to get on like a half hour before and talk and bullshit and catch. Yeah. And this is, and by the time we get on, we're all dead. So we don't,
usually.
Or you're regurgitating the things you already talked
about. What we should do, Tim, is we should just get on here one time. As soon as all 4 people get in the group, we need to just go live instantly.
Bang. Yeah.
Right.
Bang it out.
Go live, no intro, no nothing, just raw dog.
Yeah.
Just
some of the
raw
best stuff that's said is prior to going online.
No lube, no kiss on the neck, just raw dog.
Right.
Raw dog.
Tim doesn't know what's going on and asks the wrong questions all the time.
Philip, you don't need to do a podcast because you talk nonstop on Facebook. If nobody would listen if you
I think everybody
did a
knows
podcast.
Yeah, no, I think he should do a podcast.
Oh no, dude.
I don't know that any of us have phones with big enough storages to keep that one, but Phil's one of those guys. He can talk, man. He can. The biggest thing that he's got going for him is because he doesn't listen to you, so he just keeps talking. He's got it all in his head, so as he's talking, he just keeps going and going and going. So he's got it.
The first time ever today, I asked him a question, and he actually answered the question instead of like talked about the 10 other things that came out. I mean, like he usually goes from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and then about 20 minutes in, I'm just like, dude, all right, you know what I mean? I just stopped answering. I just like I just wanted to answer. How tall is the fucking pole, bro? That's all I wanted to know.
20
How tall is the pole?
Well, see, Section 3 is high modulus Kevlar, and Section 2 is 3 MSI. Don't confuse it with 4 MSI. Oh, my God. Just send me the fucking pole.
That's what I told him. Listen, the dude I gave him his marketing on a silver platter. The name of his fucking pole is Simple. Keep it simple. And all you have to do is take www.simple.com and put just the poles on there, and they will sell because they are good poles. That's all you got to do. But now there's like...
But wait, there's more. Order within the next 5 minutes and get a traffic light.
A really hard balance to do in sales too is that when you have too many options, you lose people, and then people don't end up buying. So you have too many things, you lose people, and I mean,
it looks his website looks the way his mind works. Like there's a guy reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I want to buy one of those poles. I dig it. I'd seen what it does. I seen it up against a building. I really liked it. It has no flex that high in the air. Yada yada yada." He's like, "But I need a tour guide to get through this dude's website." You know what I mean? And it's frustrating. You know what I mean? Because guys see me using it. They see it on YouTube. I've had about 5 or 6 people reach out to me about it, and send them to the website. It's just like, you know what I mean? Jeez, Pete, you need.
You want to know something?
Guide.
In his defense, we just got done doing a website switch over about 6 weeks ago. Now, it took 2 years of coders and developers that were making that site to do that. 2 years to make it look like it's not that much, like it's, that's a really nice site. That's all people see. So it's very, very hard on the other side.
I'm not saying that it's easy, but it didn't seem to be that hard to get all of that shit.
He doesn't have that many products, though.
Well,
He's got like 12 items per sale.
He says he's working on it now.
You're 100%
I'm just saying,
right.
hashtag keep it simple. It's it's right there for you. You know what I mean? Just
build a Shopify site.
Yeah.
Take some pictures.
Just take some pictures. Shopify site. Done. Just the polls. Done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Hey, I've got a trad pole. Do you want me to give you a brush at 400 feet? No, I just want the fucking pole.
Yeah.
Speaking of, with your hard body karate that you're in right now, how is this? You were like kind of doing like a diet-y kind of changing some sugars and stuff. How's that going, by the way?
Not so well, because sugar motivates you. Yes, sugar motivates you to clean. And I will say, I have been cutting back on. I do not eat the fast food like I used to. I used to eat a lot of fast food, so I kind of just been eating less horse shit. I'm trying, but nice. it's coming off slowly.
Super tough.
It's coming off slowly.
Find a place with sugar that
I just gotta
keep
salad. After it. Yeah, I gotta keep after it and drinking the water and stuff. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. The pop. I used to destroy some pop, man. And Jennifer actually messed up and bought a 2-liter tonight. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but you got to get that burn. Once you get that burn back after you haven't had it in so long, it's just that's what you miss, that burn in the back of your throat.
Yeah,
it's not so much.
I've always been kind of a water
good,
guy,
but it's
right. I've always been kind of a water guy because I actually have dehydrated myself so bad that I've had several kidney stones several times. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And that is like having a baby out of your wiener hole is not cool. You know what I mean? It's not cool, dude. And I actually, like the summer after my grandmother died, I passed 2 stones at once, which was agony. You know what I mean? It was really bad. It was really,
I'd be
bad.
Man, you would see me curled up in a ball in the corner crying. I would cry. I couldn't do that stuff. I can't handle that kind of pain.
I can tell you this right now. I was coming down the road. Just got done working. I was in the work truck, and I'm coming down the road, and I thought I was good. I went out. I worked. I was on the couch for a couple of days. I was beat up, and I thought I was good to go. You know what I mean? Shit,
right.
I was all doped up on pain pills all night. I got up. I thought I peed it out. I thought I was good, and then I'm all just about, and it hit me. I had to, and it hurt so. I almost passed out, man. I was cold,
there's no sense
laying on the floor, dude.
Get the lasers, get the lasers. I don't care how much.
To get the lasers.
Pull this shit out of me.
They could put you. Yeah, they could. If you have chronic kidney stones, they could put you in an ultrasonic tub, and get them to bust up. But mine, it was the case where, like, listen, it's big, but it's big enough for you to pass. So
see, that's not fun.
That's not terms, dude. No.
I tell you what, that shot they give you when it first comes on you, when it's starting to run down your kidneys into your bladder, that shot they give you in the hospital is like the best, bro. What's crazy is I went in there and my mom shows up. She's like, oh, my poor baby, you know what I mean? They give me the injection. I'm cool. We're laughing and joking. And I'm there so long that they ended up they're like, hey, do you want another one? And I'm like, sure. I actually drove home on that stuff. They actually let me go. My mom's like, I'm going to drive you home. I'm like, nah, just follow me. But I tell you what, that's the best night's sleep you'll ever have in your life. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you got to wake up the next day and be in a lot of pain. I think I maybe slept 3 or 4 hours. But, like I said, I woke up the next morning. Everything was cool, man. You know what I mean? And then it dropped down into my bladder and it had to come out the pee hole. Jesus, that was rough. It was rough, dude. It was rough. There's actually a dent above our toilet in our bathroom where my grandfather actually punched the wall when he dropped one. So there's still some knuckle prints in there. It's rough, dude. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, a kidney stone. That is awful. Anyone that has to deal with that, like chronically, like over and over and over again, I feel so bad for you. So if you're out there, you have my sympathies, because that is rough stuff. No one here has passed one before?
I never had them.
Well, Mark, you constantly drink water, so that's a good thing. You are always sipping on water.
A day. Yeah.
That's
I'll tell you.
What happened was, I'll tell you what happened was, and this is for all these guys because we're coming into the season here where it's going to be hot. You're going to be out in the sun. The one you do when you feel like when you get thirsty, it's already too late. You're already dehydrated. It's too late. It's too late. When your mouth is all like, oh, I need something to drink, it's too late, man. Make sure you stay hydrated because I tell you what, that's what the doctor told me straight up. You were in the sun too long. You weren't drinking water. He's like, are you eating lunch? I was like, I never eat lunch. He's like, you got to get some salt into your system. He goes, you are not doing the right things. If you do this again, you will be back here. I'm like, all right, I did it again, and I was back there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Dehydration sucks because it dredges your kidneys. You know what I mean? Right. You don't want it, man. You don't want that in your life. And wear sunscreen or a sun hat. You don't want to die of skin cancers.
Nope.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say, man, I can't believe I'm going to say this story, but I'm going to get a world of shit for this. I'm sure Rob Pelosi will do something. About 6-7 years ago, my wife started getting into healthy eating and healthy living.
Oh, tell me you got enemas.
Not an enema. I got. Okay. Well, she goes to me. I want you to go speak to this doctor, and she does acupuncture and colonics and all these other things, right? So I sit down with this fucking thing, right? And my wife's like, he can't handle the pain. Well, understand something. Other than my wife, we're all boys in this house, so everything is a competition, okay? Right. My kids will go outside and get a bug and say,
$10 says you won't eat it, and I'll eat it. It's a competition in my house. When my wife knows how to play me and she says, he can't handle the pain, I'm like, yeah, right. So I sit down for this consultation, right? And I'm like, so tell me about this colonic thing. And she's like, well, we pump water into you, and then we massage your lower intestines, and then we release it, right? So I'm like, how fucking bad could that be, right? So I go, all right. So my wife signs me up for 5 of them, right? 5.
Oh, no, dude.
5. Yeah, it's a fucking bonus plan, right? So I show up there, and this fucking lady comes out with what looks like a lava lamp, okay? It was like, I'm not kidding. It's made out of glass, right? I'm like, okay, it's either a hookah pipe or a lava lamp. Where's that going? So I'm like, all right. So you put on a gown, you lay on your side, and they grease up the lava lamp, and in she goes, okay? So I'm laying there, and she goes, there's a little bit discomfort, but you'll be okay. Now I'm going to start to so they put warm water in you. Now you're laying on your side, and on the wall is this, it looks like one of those water heaters that you mount on the wall, and it's got a clear tube that goes across, right?
Oh, no.
Of course, I'm thinking this is going to be funny, right? I'm thinking I can handle this. And, of course, I'm making jokes. I'm like, hey, when you find that 1972 collector's edition Hot Wheels car, stop the machine, right? So she starts to fill me with this water or whatever it is, and you just feel this tremendous pressure, and then they back flush you like a fucking radiator, right? Yeah. I got to tell you something, dude. I have never felt pain like that in my life, right? It was horrendous, cramping and pressure, right? So they drain you down. You're in there for a half hour, right? I'm like, okay, it's not so bad. I'm laying on my side. She pulls out the lava lamp, and in the corner is this makeshift bathroom. And I say that because it's like a set. It doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. It's just 2 walls in the corner. There's a toilet and a sink and stuff like that. And she goes, when I'm done, you can, robe up and go into the bathroom because there's going to be more in you. And I'm like, nah, it feels fine. She goes, trust me when I tell you. So the problem was, dude, I had a tear in my eye. It hurt so bad, but I was laughing so hard. I wish I had my phone, the symphony that came. Holy shit, right? So I actually got roped
like
into
literally.
doing this. Yeah, dude, I did it twice. By the 3rd time, I gave up. I said, I'm not fucking going back.
Dude,
I'm not. This lady is watching.
Isn't this called an enema? Isn't that an enema?
No, it's a colonic. I don't know what the difference is, but all I know is maybe the enema has a smaller lava lamp, but I was not. By the 3rd time,
Mark Darnell says when you feel the pressure, push out.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I could have shot that lava lamp and killed somebody with it.
That's not happening. I can't believe you. Rob, you need to go ahead and get that meme up.
Yeah.
Group now.
Yes. We need Mark Tanner, the colonic edition. Like
this
right now, dude.
Dude, this lady is watching at the point of
Bro, I can't believe you told this
stuff going by in the tube, right? You see this tube, and then you see something tumble by. This lady's watching this like she's watching the Super Bowl. Whoa! I'm like, oh my
God! There's a big old turd.
Yeah.
So what is this? What is it? What's the allure of having water flushed up your rump?
I don't know. It was a challenge. I said
it was a challenge.
I paid for 5. I said you can keep the fucking money. I'm not coming back.
I wouldn't accept those challenges, Mark.
Next time I see Mark, I'm gonna lay $100 bill on the table. Like, I bet you can't shove this cucumber up your ass.
Dude, let me tell you something. They grease that lava lamp up with something that doesn't go away for many days. Let's just put that. Yeah. Oh my God.
You're not helping your story, buddy.
God, that is the worst.
I'm just saying, never, ever let someone talk you into that.
Mark, we don't talk about that on WCR Nation.
No,
don't worry about it.
There's no colonics on WCR Nation? What do you mean, dude?
That's why we're number 2.
Did they give you a roast spell? Like roasts for like days after?
Yeah. What?
Wow.
That new stint, they sprayed that up?
No. It's gone after a couple hours. But, the 3rd time I was really going to throw him for a loop because I was going to go in with one.
I'm not going back a 3rd time.
No, but the 2nd time was enough. But I said if I'm going back, I'm going in with one in the chute and see what happens.
be excited. She'd be watching that little tube like.
Listen, he liked
on the
that
way
shit.
over, I ate like 400 bags of peanuts.
Dickwood guy.
Oh God!
Like always you did for a month to eat peanuts, dude. I tell you what,
listen.
my cousin Brian eats peanuts. He eats boiled peanuts, deep fried peanuts, like with the shell on. Have you ever had deep fried peanuts shell and all before? Oh, it's so good.
I had deep fried. I
especially
just
when
can't
you're
do boiled.
Bad for you, though, dude. Yeah, digesting
What's
that
bad
stuff.
for you?
The shells and all
okay,
that.
Mr. Kalanick. You just had hey, I had a lava lamp shoved up my ass. Eating peanuts is bad for your digestive system. What you should do is shove something in there.
Right. Flush that shit out.
I wonder how long. I wonder how my grandpa made it so long without having something shoved up his ass. Made it all the way to 96 without ever having something shoved in his ass.
Well, he made it to 98.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, would he have made it longer?
He wouldn't have been happy about it.
Yeah,
you know,
my
it's all
grandpa
those
would have been
years you get
super
back.
mad.
They're all on the end. Like you don't want those ones anyway. If it means not having a lava lamp shoved up your butt, I don't want to.
Right,
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't want those extra ones.
I won't take them.
Nah.
I got busted with 2 cucumbers and wet wipes under the driver's seat. Fucking Mark Darnell, dude.
I'll tell you what, I have physically been. I was physically run over by a truck and fractured my pelvis, and I did not feel the pain that lady did to me. Boy,
you went back for seconds, bro.
Yeah, you went back again. You're like, let me do it
Like
again.
I said, it was kind of a dare or a competition, but I would.
No dare in this world. It's got me shoving something up my butt, dude.
He liked it. He finished.
She would have came out with the lava lamp, and I would have. I forgot my phone in the car. I gotta go.
Yeah, it greatly resembled a lava lamp. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna throw $100 on the Mark's counter and tell him to go down to the freeway and find the loneliest guy with daddy issues and have his way with him for an hour. Come on.
He won't do it. He's scared.
Yeah, he won't do it. He's scared.
Double dare you.
He's
double
super scared. Double.
I'll put it on PayPal right now.
Right.
Send it over. Send it over.
Send it over. I want it.
Yeah.
So, Jersey, you know, I want to say that it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Before I forget.
It's cool. No, it's over. Really. It's close to being over now. You don't have to lie now. Why start?
No, it's all good, buddy. And we're happy. We're glad that you actually watch our podcast, because the more people that watch it, the more entertaining it could be. You never know what's going to happen on this deal.
Yeah, sorry.
Does anyone?
All them months. It was TJ's fault.
Right. Hey, does anyone in the comments, Tim? Is there anyone in the comments that, or anyone watching? We're about 20 minutes down here. Where is there anyone that has a question for Jersey that they would like answered? Maybe there's something that you can't ask during WCR Nation. Maybe, you want to know what size shoes he wears. I mean, maybe you want to know his address so you can hide in his bushes and take pictures of him.
I want to know how many days a week you get up to work out and what's your workout regimen. How, like, you do cardio every other? Or?
I work out 5 days a week, just Monday through Friday. And I don't do much cardio because I do bike, when it's bike time. But I could do cardio. I could use to do cardio, but no, just strength training just to kind of, get me woken up in the morning pretty much.
Right. I have to do that because I'm old and I can't hold the pulse like I used to.
Yeah.
The older I get, the weaker I get.
It seemed like last week being in Universal, I didn't work out. Obviously, I walked enough miles through those stupid things. Waiting in lines was a workout. I really got it in, but you feel like crap. Like when you don't do it, it sounds dumb.
Right.
People are like, "Oh, feel the burn." Well, I don't know. It feels like your whole day is sluggish when you don't get kind of jump started in the morning. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. I just don't even want to.
Yeah, but you get up like at stupid hours, though, man.
Well, I got to get the Mickey D's done, son. Right. And then I'm staying up doing this stupid shit.
I'll tell you what, though. I enjoy getting out early and getting my stuff done, man.
Yeah, we've
get home in the afternoon
several times.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person. I can't. I can't wake up. Like, if I'm up by like 7, that's like my time. That's pretty much as early as I can get up.
I don't miss it, man. I don't. Because our first job doesn't start till 9.
Nice.
You know, so we leave at 8 because you got to be there for them. You know, when they get up. So.
Yeah.
I'll actually do live chat for. Sorry, for WCR. So on the website, if you jump on it, it says like chat with blah, blah. That's me from 5 p.m. until 11 at night. So that's where my hours come from. So I don't go to bed until midnight every night anyway.
I always ignore. It's like, no, I don't want to fucking talk to you, dude.
That's like the initial one's the robot one anyway. But half of the chats are usually no, thank you. That was like the auto respond. But yeah.
All right. Oh, see, I didn't know that. So there's an auto respond, and then if you need a question answered, somebody comes on and helps you.
Yeah, so the first one that says like, do you need help? That's automatic. But as soon as you respond anything, even if you put like a period or anything, it sends an alarm to us on the other side.
You do realize, Jersey, that's probably not the greatest information to hand out because you're going to get.
Especially
what are you wearing?
Especially this murderer's row. You don't want people to know that, dude.
There is most people. The best like live chats. People just be like, "Eat a dick," and then I'll be like, "Oh, I already had dinner" or something. I'll respond something stupid. They're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I thought this was a robot."
Listen, don't be surprised if that doesn't increase over the next 24 hours.
Thinking about it being
lava lamp talks. That's the whole thing now.
Well, I want to tell you right now. That's what I'm doing as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, yeah. If someone named Lava Lamp contacts you, it's not me.
Lava Lamp / hashtag Pooslacks or
hashtag Pooslacks. Yeah.
So Jersey, I think I started asking this and we didn't get to. Is there any equipment coming out that is of behind the scenes that's gonna really make
anything cool that Is there anything cool that nobody knows, like top secret? Like everybody's like, cool, man.
We stopped recording.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's secretly been unveiled, which is 2+ system. So Tucker started it off with the Tucker 4060, which runs larger plumbing. So you're actually getting, this is water fed, so tell Tim about it later. But basically what it is it's twice the flow. So you're getting out of the same setup with an extra RO and larger plumbing, you're getting a high flow, high output ROs, you're getting twice the pressure out of it. So that's kind of cool because innovation-wise, I mean, the accelerator came out and everybody lost their stuff over that because it was something new. But I mean, the squeegee, the original Ettore, patent was back in like, I should know that, but like the 1900s or something, early. So nothing really happened in window cleaning, so.
Yeah.
Right. Jersey, if you had to be trapped in an elevator for 24 hours, would you rather be trapped with A, Benjamin Hanks, or B, Perry Tate?
Fucking Ben. He's entertaining.
Man, yeah, I really just want to give Benji a hug because here's the deal. Like, I said I have to be on Facebook quite a bit. So, like, when he was trolling more heavy, I just thought he was just that guy. When I realized he had a video posted out once on his page that it was him literally like tears in his eyes. And he's like, so I just got kicked out of my dad just kicked me out of our house. Like I've been living in his basement. Like I got nowhere. I'm living in my car right now. So if you have any windows for me to clean or anything I can pressure wash, please let me know. I need to be able to get a house. And until I find one, I'm going to be living in my car. Like horrible. And all of a sudden I'm like, you can't do that. You can't be now all of a sudden a real person. That doesn't work.
Yeah. We were wondering for a long time if that was an act or not. Is he still around? I never see anything about him.
Yeah, he's still around.
Sporadic.
He jumped into some kind of, we couldn't understand what it was, but he was creating these pages. Like he must have figured out something on the interwebs about like, it did something when you started a page, like almost like an SEO track thing. So it was one of those programs where it was like 5 seconds and you could do it. And he sent us one and he's not an act. I think he just maybe he's a little bit on the slower side. And with Perry, I've had, beers with Perry, I've hung out with Perry. I don't have any, beef or qualms necessarily with Perry. He just happens to be a guy that's out there in things. So I don't know. I just want to give Benji a hug, so
Well, you
that's
don't
what
want
I
to smell his
choose.
pants, so I would choose Benji.
Okay, let me ask you another question, Jersey. Then let's make this easier. Would you mind being stuck in an elevator with nothing but Perry's pants?
I'd rather be stuck.
If they stood in the corner and didn't bother you, would that be okay? Underneath the buttons. So.
I would rather be stuck in there with a pair of his pants than have to use the constructor brush. I'll tell you that much.
Whoa! Yeah. Well, now you can fucking wear a bucket on a belt to hold your brush in, or a submarine sandwich. There's all kinds of things that can go in there.
Yeah, the sandwich brush. Yep.
The sandwich brush. Yeah.
Yep. And
the
you could get
meatball
a
brush is gonna take the world by storm, dude. The meatball
Look, not
brush.
ready. We're not
Put
ready.
marinara on your windows. You'll get that and the sub brush holder, both.
Yeah.
What kind of deal
order now
with
and
the
get
devil
the
did you guys have to do to get Unger to go away from green?
So they still do make a green one also, but there's green and red.
But I mean, has red been around out? Because I've never seen anything but Unger green.
So I don't know enough to tell you the actual facts, but pulling it out of my butt, what I think it is I think Unger is actually one of the companies that did create some of their products in red for a certain franchise company.
Oh, I got you.
And I think that those may have been something in with those.
Oh, okay,
gotcha.
That makes sense.
It's amazing how many people really just want a color. Like, they will call and be like, "Do you have it in this color?" We're like, "No, it just comes in black." They're like, "I don't want it."
Yeah.
Atkins
Well, I mean, even though
says
like
nice
you get the
ignorance,
different
guys.
tips and the different colors. I mean, go blues and stuff like. Yeah, we all want to match, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know what the great thing about black is? It doesn't get dirty.
Right.
So, like, if you got a bucket on a belt that's black, like the Ninja, or you got black hose or whatever, and drag it through the mud, it just always looks new.
Yeah.
Right. Atkin and Son, I'm sorry that you didn't like our commentary on Perry's Taint. I apologize. You'll get over it eventually. This is not the smart podcast. This is the dumb podcast. If you want to listen to the smart podcast, that happens on WCR Nation. This is the stupid podcast. And everything we do is in poor taste, and it's usually at someone else's...
and we're not politically correct at all.
Yes, it's always at someone else's expense. We don't care about anyone's feelings. And we'd like to all say right now that if you don't like it, go drink some bleach. So,
yeah, remember that?
We are hashtag worst dudes ever. If you were wondering, we are the worst guys ever. That's us.
That's fun.
But I will say this: it's been an absolute pleasure having Jersey on. It would be cool to have you maybe come back again sometime, and maybe we'll be even more tasteless. And maybe everyone.
Yeah, and I kind of think if some new products come out, you want to come on here and, show it to us and promote it here. I think that's a great,
For sure, man.
Yeah, definitely.
If you guys want, go to www.outlawwindowcleaner.com and buy a T-shirt, because Tim's got a new T-shirt on the website, guys, and it's pretty snazzy. It's pretty snazzy. And where do people go and buy stuff from you, Jersey? I don't think anybody knows where they go and buy stuff from you, do they?
Nah.
Where's that
I'm
at?
not selling.
What's the name of that?
Windowcleaner.com. It's a hard one to remember, but you can look it up, search it. But no, one thing that you don't ever say on these podcasts is everybody gives a thumbs up for the video now that does, and subscribe, because as of before we started, you were at 399 subs, which you're one away. Hopefully,
listen, I was at 400, and somebody keeps unsubscribing and then resubscribing. They keep messing with my Stop doing that, Kevin. Jeez,
Damn it, Kevin.
Man. Damn it, Kevin.
It's one of those things like subscribers. As much as it doesn't seem like anything, it's like a high five. All you see is the number, and that's what you watch your track. So hopefully by next week you'll be at 4,000, and then it just will follow from there. So
4,000.
4,000. Well, guys, we will see you guys Sunday. Thanks again, Jersey. We are going to leave you guys tonight with a movie. It's about, I don't know, like maybe 9 minutes long. Somebody just thumbs down, but you can blow me like a saxophone.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks. This movie is, if you guys are interested in barbecuing and stuff, you'll watch this. This is Brisket with Mark Tanner, Part 1. So
there you go.
I hope you guys. So no Bigfoot.
There's some
moment
secrets
tonight.
in there. Yeah.
You're gonna get a brisket moment with Mark Tanner. This is part 1. You guys will see the rest as we go. And next, this coming Sunday, I'm gonna ask a question from this movie, and if you get the question right, first person to answer the question correctly will get a bottle of Mark Tanner rub and a Squeegee Life sticker.
There you go.
Yeah. So
good stuff right there.
We love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Jersey, for coming on with us, and we will see you Sunday. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
All right, guys. Be good. Peace. Okay, so we're going to show you how we trim and inject a brisket. It's a Packer brisket, pretty much pre-trimmed. Okay, so there's not going to be a lot of work to this one, but you need a really sharp knife. If you put your brisket in the freezer for an hour, that'll tighten up the meat, make it easier to trim. This one's been at room temperature for a while, so we're going to carefully, and don't cut the bag, and I'll show you later why. We're going to use this bag over. So unpack your brisket. And this is the top. You're going to feel around for any hard pieces of fat. This one's really nice. Anything that's loose or coming off, just get rid of it. Okay, now notice the grain is running this way. Okay, and you'll lose that grain pattern in when you cook it and it gets a bark on it. So I'll always cut the corner off right here on this angle, like a 45-degree angle. That way you know which way you're going to slice it against the grain. You don't want to cut a brisket with the grain because it'll be stringy. Let's see the other side. Okay, now this is part of the ductile. You want to get rid of all that, and you want to cut it back to a 1/4 inch. You know, make sure your knife is sharp. Just clean it up, get all these big, thicker pieces of fat off. Leaving some. You don't want to cut it down to the meat, you know. Remember, that's the edge that I cut the angle on. This is pretty close. This brisket is like 90% there. Just feel around the edges. Make sure there's nothing hard, because anything hard in there is not going to render down. Okay. Now, put our brisket in the pan. I like to inject it fat cap down. Kind of holds the injection in a little more. But you can inject both sides. It's up to you. Here's the injection. This is like a beef tallow bouillon type with, it has a little bit of the rub in there and about 1/2 cup of bacon grease. You can see it's separating a little bit, so we'll stir that up before we inject it. It's about 1.5 cups, which is what I would recommend for an injection on a average full brisket.
You want to start on one side and work your way across the meat. Start on one side and work your way across, and that way you don't miss anything. You'll feel the meat start to rise up as you're injecting it. That's when you stop and you hear it come out. Sometimes you can make a mess of it. And if you're going to put rub in your injection, just don't overdo it, because the rub will clog your injector needle. So, like I said, we're going to put 1.5 cups into this meat. You find that if you use more of an angle, you make less of a mess. And don't worry about what's running out of it, because you're going to use it all anyway. Okay, that's pretty well injected. Pour the rest of it on there. You can see the rub in the bottom. Then we're going to put our rub on the outside. The same rub you can buy at Outlaw Window Cleaner, Squeegee Life, whatever we're calling it now, website. I like to rub the whole thing down. And rub is going to melt, turn into like a paste, but it doesn't matter. Before it goes in the smoker, you dust it again. Now the hard part. We're gonna put this back in the bag. We're gonna try to. So I say don't destroy the bag. Give me a hand with this. Yeah. We're gonna try to get this back in here. Sometimes I vacuum seal them, but that's a little overkill. I got it. Perfect. And there you go. Seal that up. Let it sit for 24 hours if you have the time. Next step is going in the smoker.